Hello, Happy New Year. Yeah, we suffered a lot in 2020, the whole world, right? Let us welcome this new year with the new hopes and with complete health and happiness. These two are the things which we are deprived of for a complete year. And let's hope that Almighty will help us, right? And this year is going to be a very prosperous year for us. Now let's move on to the next part of center of mass, continuous mass distribution. Yes, see, whenever we talk about continuous mass distribution, see, every object in nature, whatever we can hold, whatever we are using, whatever we can see, all these are all three-dimensional objects. Yes, we all know that. Right? When we talk about the mass distribution, then we have to talk about how it is distributed along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. This is for our convenience. We have created a Cartesian frame of reference, or like what do we say, that is space which can be defined between x, y and z-axis. And within that space, we started evaluating and analyzing the objects and all that. So therefore, here also when we talk about the continuous mass distribution, we need to talk about along x, y and z directions. See, when we talk about only in one particular dimension, that means the same object, if we are going to find out only variation of, or like the distribution of mass in one direction, we talk about linear density, right? When if it is of a two-dimensional, right, that means when the mass distribution along x and y, right, then there we will talk about linear density, surface density, or what we call as the areal density, right? So when we talk about linear density, it is mass per unit length. When it is surface density or like areal density, then it is mass by area, right? And the other one is like when we are going we are going to discuss about the distribution of the mass in all three directions. Distribution of mass in all three directions. Then we talk about density, right? How density is defined? Mass per unit volume, right? So then we talk about density, which is rho is equal to mass by volume. Right, so these are all the things which are like very much necessary whenever we talk about the mass distribution. See, if we are like talking about a rod, right, that means how is the mass distributed along the length of the rod, right? How is the mass distributed along a circular ring or a semicircular ring? For such objects, right? For such objects, we talk about the distribution of the mass along the length. We talk about the mass distribution of the mass along the length. So therefore, mass can be written as lambda into length, where lambda being the linear density. Right now, when we talk about the distribution in two dimensions along x and y axis, then we will be going with mass is equal to surface density into area, and mass is equal to volume into density when we talk about all three dimensions, right? So these are the basics that we have to keep in mind when we proceed further for distribution of the mass. Now coming to the part of, let us assume that this is an object which is three-dimensionally. We are going to discuss about the center of mass. So when we talk about this particular three-dimensional object, let us consider a small amount of mass. Usually when it comes to discrete mass distribution, right, that is what we have already considered as M1, M2, M3, M4, etc. Right? So there we have taken the particles which are located at different locations as at a distance of R1, R2, R3, R4 or something like that, or X1, X2, X3, X4 and so on, but this is a continuous distribution. It is not discrete, right? So you can't just simply say that M1 is here, M2 is somewhere there. So it is this mass totally. Now we are dividing it into, right? In order to transform the concept what we have learnt before, like saying M1, M2, M3 are the masses located at so and so distances, in order to apply that concept here to understand the continuous distribution, let us divide the mass into small quantities as dm. What quantities? They are of equal quantities. So dm is of equal mass. Like all the complete body or the complete mass is divided into small parts like dm. So thus we can say that m1, m2, m3 is equal to dm. And similarly, suppose if I say that like x1 r1 is equal to x1, r2 is equal to x2 and so on. Suppose if this dm is located at x1, like the x coordinate of it is x1, and the dm, the y coordinate is y1, z coordinate is z1. So just simply substituting all these values like dm x1 plus dm x2 plus so on divided by dm plus dm plus dm. Suppose if you have divided it into, suppose, n parts, right? So therefore you will be getting it here like dm x1 plus dm x2 and so on, like this one, where this being the total mass. Oh, okay, right. So now how to understand this one? See here, dm is there always. x1, x2, x3, this is the one which is spreading between certain limits. That means now to find out the whole thing, you need to integrate it. You need to integrate it. So previously we have done, like when it is the point of discrete masses, summation we have taken, right? m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus m3 x3 and so on. Now, but what is happening here is dm, it is equal, right? So dm is equal in all these cases, like so in all these distribution. So dm is constant part of the total mass, which is of course the same everywhere, and the location is x1, x2, x3. It is like how this variation, this is varied between the boundaries of the given body, right? So therefore we are going to add that, like that summation, the continuous summation is integration. So integral dm x or integral dm. Right, so where integral dm, if the mass distribution is uniform and whatever the density which you were provided, the density of the body is constant everywhere. That means here if the density is not going to be a variable there, so then you can replace integral dm with a capital M being the total mass of the body. Right, so now this is integral x dm. xcm is equal to integral x dm divided by capital M, or rather it is better integral dm you can take depending on the problem. You may sometimes need to find out dm, that means integral dm also, right? It is not necessary that in the problem always capital M is given to you, right? So therefore keep this in mind. So integral x dm by integral dm. So let me write it like this. This is the best way of remembering it, by integral dm, right? And in a similar manner ycm is equal to integral y dm by integral z dm by em. So this is how you will be writing the coordinates of center of mass in case of continuous mass distribution. Okay, so let us start applying these concepts, right? Like finding the x, y and z coordinates of center of mass of a body, of the body as a whole, right? The body as a whole with continuous mass distribution. Let's start with the uniform rod. See, when it is of uniform rod, you all pretty well know, no need to derive here, right? So when you say that it is uniform rod, that means the radius is constant, density of the rod is everywhere same, that is the linear density is everywhere same. So suppose if you say that the rod is given just and it is lying parallel to x-axis or like on the x-axis. Suppose if you say that the axis of the rod is, right, so this is on the x-axis, then what would be the center of mass? Center of mass lies exactly at the center of the rod, isn't it? If L being the length of the rod, if L is the length of the rod, then L by 2 is the path. That means exactly at the physical center of this rod lies the center of mass. This is L by 2 comma 0. So it is something like when the case here is that the axis of this rod, right? That means it is the one which lies on the x-axis, right? Then L by 2 comma 0 is center of mass. Every one of us knows. Suppose if I align this one like this, right? So then what will be the coordinates of center of mass? Then you say that 0 comma L by 2, where L by 2 is the y coordinate, here 0 is the x coordinate, right? So that means this center of mass of uniform rod, you can simply talk about the distribution of mass along a particular axis, maybe x-axis, maybe y-axis, maybe z-axis, right? So we are not going to talk about like the distribution of this along x, y, z, all the three, right? So it is enough. It's like because half the mass is distributed along the length. If we observe that properly, then you can talk about like length, the variation or the distribution of the mass only along the length. That means the length of the rod may be parallel to x-axis, may be parallel to y-axis, may be parallel to z-axis. So now let us take, that means this complete distribution of the mass is like reduced to one-dimensional here. Right? We are not bothered about the other one. We are only bothered about like taking, like imagining at one of the edges being one of the axis, then automatically how the length is, how the mass is distributed along the length is important. That means only one along one particular axis we are going to discuss. Hence, it can be considered as one-dimensional. Okay? So now let us see how to establish this or how to prove this one. Let us suppose there is a small amount of mass dm at a distance of x1 from here, and like that this is distributed because it's not a particle. What you are taking is not a particle m1 which is at a distance of x1. Is it not? It's not a particle where you can say that the particle is at a point. It is not at a point. We are saying a quantity of mass. Children, remember this, it's a quantity of mass. So that quantity of mass dx is like taken here, and the boundaries of this are like from this it is x1 and it is x2. That means x2 minus x1 is a finite quantity. Let us suppose that quantity to be dx. Let us suppose that quantity to be dx. So small element of the mass dm having a length of dx. Instead of taking the complete rod at a time, we are taking a small element of the rod as a small element of mass as dm, which is having a length, or what rather you can say thickness, whatever it is, length to be dx. So now as per the definition of linear density is equal to mass by length. So total mass is equal to linear density into length. Here we are taking linear density to be constant. So therefore for a small element of dm, now linear density is lambda into the length of this is dx. So therefore what is the dm value? I got the dm value now. So to apply in this particular concept, that is integral x dm, now I have determined my dm value. Dm is equal to lambda dx. Right, now substitute in this. Now here in this case I am taking m to be given as capital M. So xcm is equal to x dm by m, where x dm integral. Right, how to integrate? From where to where are you going to add? So that is very important. In this particular problems, where to where the limits has to be applied, that is left to each and every case separately. So you have to take this case and then only you can just apply the limits here, depending on how the mass is distributed and between what boundaries the mass is distributed. Now here, as you are taking the axis to be here, that means from one end of the rod you are going to locate the center of mass. Therefore, from 0 to L. So the summation should be started from like that, means so many masses of dm added together till L. So the limits are from 0 to L x. In place of dm, we got it to be lambda dx. So therefore it is lambda dx. Lambda is a constant. Take it out. Lambda by m. 0 to L x dx. Right? So x dx, integral x dx is x square by 2. Now applying the limits 0 to L. Upper limit first should be applied minus the lower limit. So delta by m, taking common, L square by 2 minus 0. So that is L square by 2. So lambda L square by 2 m. Now what is lambda? So in the problem, what is lambda is equal to m by L. Substitute that and then simplify. You can see that xcm is equal to L by 2. xcm is equal to L by 2. So what's the difference? See, you may say that why should we do all this unnecessarily? We can directly locate it L by 2 comma 0. Right? Why? Because here though it is given as the uniform distribution of the mass where the linear density is constant. But in certain problems this may not be the case. This may not be the case. Then how are we going to solve? Because with this concept only we are going to apply there. Right? If the linear density is not going to be constant, that means as per the length, that means here also dm having the same mass, here also having the same mass, right? So it is a constant mass distribution. Now the mass distribution may not be constant. Right? For such problems, this concept is very, very important. So therefore, we took an example of what we already know using our common sense. We know that it is at L by 2, right, from y-axis or from the end of one of the ends of the rod. And now we just saw whether whatever the concept we have discussed above, like, is applicable here and we are getting the same solution or not. So we got it. So now without any hesitation, we can apply the same concept in the upcoming applications. Okay, so let's see them now. Right, here is a problem that we can apply the concept. The density of linear rod of length L varies as rho is equal to A plus Bx. So density of linear rod means linear density is talking about, of course we have taken it as rho here. So no harm, nothing to be worried, it is lambda. So where x is the distance from the left end, locate center of mass. So this might be the rod. And this is the left end. So from the left end of the rod, we have to locate the center of mass. Center of mass. So now you may say that why should we do the problem? Yes, we have to do the problem because this is not of uniform distribution. You have to see that here lambda is not constant. It is A plus Bx. Along with x, if x is changing, your linear density lambda is changing. So you can't blindly go and say that here lies L by 2, at L by 2. No, wrong, absolutely wrong. If you just solve the problem like that, right? So then this is wrong. So what we have to apply? The concept what just we have learned that we have to apply. So what does it say? That now xcm is equal to, what is the concept? X dm by integral dm, integral x dm by integral dm. Now I didn't write it as capital M. Why? Because capital M is not given to me. Capital M is not given here in the problem. You need to observe that one. So I have to find out the mass also. Right? So therefore, now here the mass distribution when you talk about, so you know that M is equal to, here in the problem it is given as rho. So therefore I'll write it as rho L. So L being the capital L being the length. Right? So this is how you are supposed to write. Now therefore dm is equal to rho dx. Dm is equal to rho dx. So let me find out now integral dm. Integral dm is equal to rho dx, integral rho dx. Right? Integral dm is equal to integral rho dx. Here I am finding out I am finding the capital M value. Right? So integral dm is equal to rho dx. From where to where? 0 to L. Now it is 0 to L. So therefore, this is how you have to find out the mass here. You can't write it as directly capital M and go and search in the problem where is capital M and is given. Right? You can't do that one. Right. So now the next one here is integral x dm. Right. So what is integral x dm means? Now in place of dm you are going to write it as rho dx. In place of dm, rho dx. So let us substitute this concept now. So integral x in place of dm, rho dx. Because rho is given in the problem. Here he has taken the linear density as rho. But in the concept we have studied it as lambda. So don't blindly go like, see, we have studied it as lambda, so I have to search for lambda. No, this is just only representation. Like you have to focus on this one. Density of a linear rod. That means linear density is given here, right? So now by integral rho dx. So most of you will be thinking that here also integral rho dx is there, integral rho dx is there, we can cancel that one. No, it is not like that. So now see here, I'll take rho common here. Integral 0 to L x dx is this. Now rho integral 0 to L, this is dx. Rho will get cancelled. Oh, hold on. Rho is a variable. Rho is a variable. That is why we took all this, no? Right. So now substitute in this one. So normally if it is given, if rho is a constant, then you can take it like this. If rho is a constant, you can take it like this. But here in this case, rho is not a constant. Therefore, we cannot take the rho out. So, okay. Somehow it is for our good only it happened. So rho cannot be taken out. Why? Because rho is not independent of x. It is depending on x. It is depending on x. So therefore I have to substitute rho here as integral 0 to L x. In place of rho you will be getting a plus bx into dx divided by, so let me write it as divided by integral 0 to L a plus bx dx. Okay, so let me write directly. So now ax, integral ax is ax square by 2. Now it is bx means bx is cube by 3. Now whole divided by integral a dx means ax plus bx dx means bx square by 2. And the limits are from 0 to L. 0 to L. Okay, the limits are from 0 to L. Let us substitute that and see. Now it is AL square by 2 plus BL cube by 3 whole divided by AL plus BL square by 2. AL plus BL. This is where the center of mass is. XCM. You can take out L common, and of course depending on the option you can write it down. So this is how you have to find out. I'll repeat the whole thing once again. Right, here the problem here is that linear density is not constant. So it's a must for us to find out both total mass as well as integral x dm. So as per the concept, integral dm is equal to integral rho dx, and this variation is from 0 to capital L. So integrating from 0 to L x rho dx. So usually that means in the concept we have, in the previous concept when we learnt the basic concept of center of mass of uniform rod means the mass is distributed uniformly along the length. But here the mass is not distributed uniformly along the length. The mass is changing. Because as x is changing, linear density is changing. That means mass is changing here. So therefore, this rho cannot be taken out of the integral. This rho cannot be taken out of the integral. Therefore, you have to keep the rho inside, and that is a plus bx into dx. Now see, ax integral is ax square by 2. bx integral is bx cube by 3, right? A integral is ax plus bx square by 2. So now applying the limits and then substituting, you got this to be the final answer. Please note it down. Very, very important concept. So the next one, very, very easy. Why I am doing this is because sometimes problems will be asked like using variable linear density and multiple rods can be given. Multiple rods can be given to locate the center of mass. So we'll take one particular rod with variable linear density as qx, right? Maybe 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x or whatever it is. Right now the solution here is the same thing, like you have a rod, right? And the length of the rod being capital L, and here lambda is equal to qx. Lambda is equal to qx. So what is the concept here? Integral dm is equal to, what is integral dm is equal to? Integral lambda dx. Is it not? So this is the concept what you are supposed to use. Right? Linear density into length gives you mass. And this is limits between 0 to L. So let us substitute directly. xcm is equal to integral, right? So what is xcm? Ax dm by integral dm, is it not? So now substitute from 0 to L. X in place of dm you have lambda dx by integral 0 to L. Yes, lambda dx. Why? Because you can't take it as capital M. While learning the concept, we took it as capital M because that is of uniform mass distribution. Right? And now, therefore, x dx. Now, lambda is qx. It is not constant again. So, therefore, integral 0 to L q x into ex dx by integral 0 to L qx dx. So taking q out, it is common. So both the places it will get cancelled. Now x square dx is x cube by 3 by ax square by 2 between the limits, of course. Here the limits are 0 to L, here also 0 to L. So thus you will be getting it as center of mass, right? L cube by 3 whole divided by L square by 2, that comes as 2L by 3. Very, very important conclusion. Like that means time saving. So whenever you are giving something like this, so you can directly write it as 2L by 3. It is independent of this quantity. Maybe 2x, maybe 3x, maybe 4x. Right? This quantity, it is independent. This q will get cancelled. Like now you are only taking about x. If it varies along the x direction by x, then you will be getting as 2L by 3. That's all. Right? So this can be used as like a concept for solving when multiple rods are given. Please make a note. Yes, let's see the fourth one. Then finally I'll come back, go back to third one. So first and second problems we saw. Fourth one, it is similar to something like what just now we have discussed, so that we can see the application part of it. So now here, this is how the system is. There is a rod here and another. That means there are two rods whose linear densities are Ax and By are arranged as shown in the figure. That means one along the x-axis and the other along the y-axis. Right? So let me take, this one here, right? So this one if I take as origin, okay? So this is somewhere here, where it will be, because it is Ax. Just now we have seen what is xcm is equal to 2L by 3. Is it not? 2L by 3. Now from here if you say y is equal to by, it is independent of this one. So ycm is equal to, very good, 2L by 3 again, because the length is given to be the same for both. So now we know that somewhere here, right, at 2L by 3 comma 0, 0 comma 2L by 3. Now what is this? 0 comma 2L by 3, because this is along y-axis and this is along x-axis. So therefore we can take it as 0 comma right, 12 comma 12 by 3 comma 0. So usually when you talk about this one as like minus 12 by 3 comma 0, this is the center of mass. If you are going to talk about like this as the coordinate point, that is at origin. But here for our convenience we are taking from this point, this is the distance here and this is the distance here. Now somewhere here the center of mass will be located on the line joining those two, So how to solve this one? Right, so now solution for this one is, right, so when we have taken this as origin, like so somewhere here it lies. So m1x1, what is center of mass concept? m1x1 plus m2x2 divided by m1 plus m2 is not, and similarly YCM is also equal to m1x1 plus m2x2 divided by m1 plus m2. So what is this? This is of discrete mass distribution, and what the concept we applied here is continuous mass distribution. And how is the mass distributed? Non-uniform mass distribution. Beautiful problem. See, we are using three concepts here. One is continuous mass distribution with non-uniform mass distribution. And that we are going to combine it with discrete mass distribution, and then we are going to solve the problem here. Right, see, now it is. So once when you know the center of mass, it means that your total mass lies here and the other part of the total mass lies here. As if there are two masses m1 and m2. Right, and you know the coordinates of those two masses. Substitute in this and find out the xcm and ycm. Right, so this is how you are going to solve the problem. Now the problem here is, what are m1 and m2? What are m1 and m2? Beautiful, isn't it? So, as per the thing, what is m1 is equal to, what is your mass? m1 is equal to integral dm. Isn't it? Integral dm for this rod. For this rod, what is that rod? Integral dm is equal to lambda dx between 0 to L. Lambda dx between 0 to L. What is lambda here? Ax. So, integral 0 to L ax dx, which is equal to ax square by 2, that is al square by 2, is the mass m1. Beautiful. Now mass m2 is equal to integral dm, which is equal to 0 to L. Right, lambda dy. Lambda dy, what is y given? Dy given to be, like lambda is given to be by. So therefore integral 0 to L by dy, which is equal to bl square by 2. Beautiful. Now you know al square by 2, bl square by 2, and you know the x1, y1, x2, y2. Then substitute and find out the coordinates of center of mass. Substitute and find the coordinates of center. Shall we do that one? Right. xcm comma ycm I am doing directly. That is equal to, what is xcm? m1 x1, right, because m2 x2 anyhow is 0, so least bothered about it one. So therefore 2l by 3 is my m1. Is it 2l by 3? Did I calculate it properly? Ax dx, al square by 2, because 2l by 3 is xcm, right? Al square by 2, al square by 2 is m1. Right, into x1. What is x1? Minus 2l by 3. Minus 2l by 3. By m1 plus m2. Al square by 2 plus bl square by 2. So taking l square by 2 common here, I can write it as a plus b. Right, now the next one is, here m1, y1 is 0. y2 is fine. 2l by 3. So therefore bl square by 2 into 2l by 3 by l square by 2 common, a plus b. Beautiful problem. So l square by 2, l square by 2 will get cancelled. So you are left with minus 2al by 3 by a plus b and 2bl by 3 of a plus b. Right? Yeah, make a note of this one. Third problem. Coming to the third one, it is not, of course, like based on integration. It is something like the same mass, but redistributed in a different manner. Okay, right now a cubical block of ice of mass small m, very silly problem, very small problem. You have a tray, and in the tray you have a mass, right, an ice cube, right, of mass small m, and the tray is of capital M, right. So what is the shift in the center of mass if this ice melts? That's all. Very silly problem. See, now let me take this one, the base of the tray, as the, like, what do we say, x-axis. So from here, like, suppose if this is the case, now y coordinate, the mass variation will be in this direction only. So we are going to confine ourselves only in this direction. So before that, so capital M is here and small m is at a distance of L by 2. Small m is at a distance of L by 2. So what is the center of mass when it was as an ice block? XCM is equal to small m into L by 2, right, by capital M plus small m, because the y coordinate on the x axis is 0 here. So let me write it as YCM. Okay, YCM is equal to ML by 2 by this one. So that is equal to ML by 2 times of M plus M. See, why? Because when the whole thing is melting also, the same mass is distributed here like this, right? That means center of mass, so it is going to lie here only. It is going to lie here only, somewhere here only, is it not? So therefore, I am not talking about the x coordinate here, right? I am only talking about the y coordinate. Before though, like before melting, this is where the center of mass, between these 2 points, right? That means at a height of ml by 2 into m plus m from the base of the given tray, So now the ice has melted. Now water is here. So whatever the mass is distributed here, no, this is of negligible height. Therefore, where will the center of mass will be? Now here it will be the center of mass. That means what is the center? That means at the same base. Now what is the shift? Shift is the same height. Whatever the height you have taken, no, that height. That means whatever the center of mass is there before, right, somewhere here, now it is shifted to this. That means this is the shift in the center of mass. That means this is the height, right? YCM, that is ML by 2 into M plus M is the shift. Right? Very simple problem, very easy, but it seems to be as though that the mass is redistributed here. Okay, this is all for now. In the next class, we will see about the, circular ring and circular disc.